So let me see if there's any other questions here. Let me see. Rod says, I'm in a technical role. Let me post this in the pin this post. Rod says, I'm in a technical role and want a raise, but feel like I need a CISSP, starting to look at elsewhere. So Rod, like a couple things that I've done to get raises is to move to another organization, right? That's one way. I'm not saying, oh, quit your job right now. That's one of the ways is to make a change to another organization, right? Go from this organization. Make sure you articulate all the skills and tools and positions you've already used, right? Use that as leverage to make that step up, especially, and then also be open to doing principal roles, supervisor roles, management roles. That's going to have more responsibility and working with difficult customers, working directly with customers. So I've had to get raises, I've had to do some crazy shit. This brings up a really good point. So one time, one of the craziest things I did to get a raise, to get to 100K. The first time I actually got to 100K, I started doing blogs. This was it's 2008, right? Like I'm really dating myself, but a long time ago. I was doing blogs where I was explaining how to do GRC stuff for the government, right? Nobody was talking about it. It was not classified or anything, but it's just a process that nobody was talking about at the time. Now everybody's talking about it. I did this blog, and the blog got relatively popular on a site called, I don't know if you guys remember this, but dig.com. It's like, this is really old stuff. Maybe /dig and I don't know. It was bigger than Reddit at the time. And then also it got big on Reddit too. And I put it out there, and then an employer, a small business contacted me and said, hey, I really like your content, like how you break it down is very clear. Can you make this into a book? I said, hell yeah. So I took everything I did and made it into a workbook. Like I wrote everything into a workbook. And then she said, she paid me for that. And then she said, could you teach this? I said, yes. She said, I will pay you to go to this site, this site, this site, and this site. And are you interested? I said, hell yes. I got paid over 100,000 to do exactly that. And that lady was brilliant. I don't know, like I need to contact her again. This is one of the smartest humans I've ever talked to. But yeah, so anyway, that was a crazy thing. I quit my job and worked for some tiny company where I was her first employee, and she was flying me out. That was a fucking crazy thing I did. I had 2 kids at the time. You know how crazy that was? And then another thing I did to get a gigantic raise was I left the country. This is absolutely crazy. So I left the country. What's her name? Talks about this a lot. Simone Bees, one of the biggest GovTech influencers online. Look her up. Her name is Simone Bees. She talks about everything. I don't agree with everything she says, but a lot of what she says is freaking spot on. Like she nails it. All the stuff she says about going to another country and making more money, like that's exactly what I did. So I went to another country to go doing GRC, and I transferred over doing SOC analyst work. And because not many Americans want to do that kind of stuff, and it was in a hostile environment, and that's where I met Rod Rodriguez, by the way. And I was over there getting trained by him and others to do SOC analyst work, and I transitioned into that for a while, and I got paid more than I'd ever been paid before. So go to another country, go to another job, doing travel. That's another one. If you're willing to travel a lot. So that first job that I did, the reason I got paid so much is because I was traveling like 70 days out of a year. 70% of my year was traveling. It was brutal. I hated it. It was brutal. It was fun at first, but then after a while, it started weighing down on me because I was always gone. Because if you're traveling 70%, it might as well be 80, because like just to get to the plane and all that kind of stuff in between, it was a lot. What's another way? Taking a management position, doing a principal role, doing architect role where you're directly talking to the customer. Another one that I did where they pay a little bit more is where you're both traveling and you're a consultant for a company. So I did that at Verizon. I was traveling and I was a consultant, and they'll pay you a little bit more to do stuff like that. And because it's a little harder because you're talking directly to the customer and you got to kind of sell it, so that's a little more difficult if you're willing to do those kinds of things. Another thing I've done is move to another state, relocate to another state. That's another way that you can, if you're serious about getting that raise, then you might have to make some kind of a sacrifice, right? Getting a CISSP does help. Like there's not just CISSP, professional level certs that are very, very difficult to get. They're very hard. Not just CISSP, but you got another one's called OSCP, which is a hacker, a pen testing cert, super hard up from what I've heard. OSCE, which is even harder. Another one is a CCNP. Any of those Cisco certified network professional, those are some hard ass certs. And I think it's like 5 certs, it's not one. I think it's like 5 that you got to build them all up to get to that one. So those are all professional. And there's many other ones that you can get that once you get those under your belt, normally you can command a little bit more money. And then you probably have to move to another company as well. So those are a few things all these things I've done to get